I find Telegram's bot API to be really interesting as it is quite flexible and a good fit for quite a lot of different projects. One of the use cases that I have with their API and mainly their chatbot is for basic logging. So let's say I have a program running on a Raspberry Pi or a private server or even a microcontroller such as the ESP modules. And let's say I want to receive an instant message on an event. It could be a warning, it could be, let's say, a new user joining, or almost any sort of similar scenarios. So I thought to, well, before that, I find it more interesting than the other alternatives such as sending an email or a text message, as for email is not as instant as I would like it to be, and for text message usually I have to pay for each message that you send unless you use a trial API, which also has its own limitation. But with Telegram and mainly their chatbot, you can do quite a lot. So for example, let's say you want to share a log message with a couple of people that you're working with, or even more than a couple. You can either create a group chat or even a channel with thousands of members and send your logs to it. Or if you just want to keep it for yourself, you can use the direct message through their private chat. And also regarding the types of documents that you can send, it's not only limited to text. You can send photos, videos, audio, and quite a lot of different things that I'm going to show you right now. So to get started, first of all, let's take a look at Telegram's documentation, which I have open up here. You can search this on Google, Telegram's bot API documentation, and it will bring you to this page. So first thing we want to take a look at is how we would use this API. So basically, we would make get or post request to this URL. This is the base URL for their API, and all we need to do is to pass it a token as well as a method name. I will show you both of these, how to get the token and method name. So if you go to available methods, we can see that they have quite a lot of different methods that we can use. So for example, send location, send voice, animation, video, document, audio, photo, and a bunch of other stuff. So we're going to be using send message for now, and maybe get me. I will explain what get me is for, but basically that's as far as we're going to go with the methods. But you can, just like the one that we're going to cover right now, which is send message, you can just take a look at almost any of these and implement them really quickly. So let's copy this base URL for now. Up here, and I made two files, a main.py and a logger.py. I'm going to be implementing the logger in logger.py and using main.py to use it basically. So our token is, let's leave that. We're gonna get back to token, but our URL is this. And then now opening up Telegram's client, if we message botfather, which you can find it using its username, literally botfather, you open it up, you send it a start message, and it would send you a list of commands. You click on new bot if you want to create a new bot like this, and it will ask you for a name. You pass it the name, and then it will ask you for a username. You have to make sure the username ends with bot. So I called this one a hot dog logger bot. And finally, it sends you a message telling you that your bot has been created. It gives you a link to the bot as well as the API token. So this would only take you a couple of minutes at most, so it's really easy to make one. And then let's copy this token, paste it here so we can use it later. Now the last thing we want to get to make sure we have is that you want to install the request library. So by using pip or pip3, depending on the version of Python that you have installed, you want to install requests. This is an HTTP library that we can use to make HTTP calls to any sort of web server. Okay. Now to get started with this, I also want to bring a bunch of emojis. So let's search emoji, use this. I was actually searching for it. I want to get 3 different types of emojis. So let's use a warning for warning logs. I'm just gonna keep it here. Let's use a robot for normal logs, and then let's use a message for info. Perfect. Now, let's start with our condition. So let's create an enum. So from enum, import enum, and then we will create an enum class condition enum, and then we want to have warning, log, and info. Let's call it a message. So let's pass each of these to the correct one. Oh, interesting. I'm not sure why that's happening, but let's just leave it as is. Our robot and our info. Great. Now that we have this, let's create our main class, which would be logger. So class logger, and then for initializing it, we want to pass it two different parameters. So init self, we want to pass it the token as well as the chat ID. So chat ID is the target to whom you want to send a message to. For example, for a channel, let's say you have a channel, it will be its username. So channel username. For group and a private message, it will be the chat ID, and I will show you how to get this chat ID right now. Okay, so let's initialize this. Token is equal to token self chat ID equals chat ID. Let's also put an underscore over here, and let's initialize this URL. So self URL equals this. We don't want a method over here, and we just want to replace this token with our token. Perfect. So now that we have this ready, let me also get rid of this. We would also like to implement our log, which would take a message and a condition, and let's make this condition optional. And then let's implement a method for each one of our conditions that we have over here. So div warning message, div message, and then div info. So basically we would just want to call this log method from each one of these and pass the correct condition. So let's do self log message condition dot warning self log message, and then condition dot message, and self log again message, and condition we have info over here. All right, perfect. That's basically it in terms of our logging. We would just now have to import requests, and then to make sure you have requests installed, actually we installed that before, sorry. Okay, now I would show you how to get your chat ID for this for our user in Telegram. So basically, if you go back here, there are usually a bunch of bots that would just reply your chat ID to you. So for example, this one that I found, you can copy its username from here, show chat ID bot, and then whatever message that you send to it, it will just reply your chat ID to you. So I'm going to again copy my chat ID over here for now. And one more thing is that when you create your bot and you want to be able to receive message from it, you have to open up the bot and pass it the start command, and that will authorize the bot to message you. Okay, now let's open up our logger and implement our log method. So we would want to take a look at the available methods, the send method over here, and as you can see, we need to pass it a chat ID and a text. So let's create our text. Our text would be the message, And then if our condition is not none, we want to prepend it to it. So text would be equal to condition dot, is it value, I believe, and then text. And over here we will want to create our URL, so it would be self URL plus send message, which is our method over here. And finally we would make the request, so request.post, and then let's pass the URL, and we want to pass these text and chat ID as parameters. So params, make a dictionary, and then we have chat ID equals chat ID, and we have our text as text, and then we can get a response, raised it for status, I believe, and that's it basically. So great. So now we can start testing this. I believe we should have everything. Okay, RESP, sorry. Yeah. Okay, so let's create our logger. So logger equals, let's import it first from logger. Import logger, and then token would be token, and chat ID would be this chat ID that we saved here. And then let's do a simple logger info, something is happening, and then let's try to run this. So what happened? Oh, I think I know what happened. I added a extra slash over here, so let's try it again. Perfect. So as you can see over here, we received our log, and it added the emoji that we wanted, because since it's info, and as well as the message that we passed to it. And again, we can do almost anything. So logger and warning, something went wrong, and then logger.message, here's a message, and then let's add a sleep in between. So from time, import sleep 1 to 1. Perfect. So basically that's how I use this logger. I would put these messages, let's say on try and catches that I have, or let's say a new user joining my platform. I would like to get a new message to know that's happening. Or you can do like, let's say whenever you get a new subscriber on YouTube or similar things, basically you can get an instant message on any platform that you have Telegram installed. And as I said before, instead of this chat ID, you can add your bot to a Telegram channel, make it the admin, and let it send the message to the entire channel. It could be, I think, up to 200,000 members right now. So yeah, you could do a lot of interesting things with it. So basically this is the idea. Hopefully